Hi Scotland, I am a non-Spartan. When I choose to speak, you should choose to listen. Just in case anyone has any doubts, 13 Tory MPs voted to take away these rights in one codified document from you. They say that the rights are all guaranteed under UK law. This may or may not be true. What they don't say is that it takes away any legal remedy should the state break them. That's why they are called fundamental human rights, rights that you will have until 30th March 2019. 1. We are all born free and equal. We are all born free. We all have our own thoughts and ideas. We should all be treated in the same way. 2. Don't discriminate. These rights belong to everybody, whatever our differences. 3. The right to life. We all have the right to life, and to live in freedom and safety. 4. No slavery. Nobody has any right to make us a slave. We cannot make anyone our slave. 5. No torture. Nobody has any right to hurt us or to torture us. 6. You have rights no matter where you go. I am a person just like you. 7. We're all equal before the law. The law is the same for everyone. It must treat us all fairly. 8. Your human rights are protected by law. We can all ask for the law to help us when we are not treated fairly. 9. No unfair detainment. Nobody has the right to put us in prison without good reason and keep us there, or to send us away from our country. 10. The right to trial. If we are put on trial, this should be in public. The people who try us should not let anyone tell them what to do. 11. We're always innocent till proven guilty. Nobody should be blamed for doing something until it is proven. When people say we did a bad thing, we have the right to show it is not true. 12. The right to privacy. Nobody should try to harm our good name. Nobody has the right to come into our home, open our letters, or bother us or our family without a good reason. 13. Freedom to move. We all have the right to go where we want in our own country and to travel as we wish. 14. The right to seek a safe place to live. If we are frightened of being badly treated in our own country, we all have the right to run away to another country to be safe. 15. Right to a nationality. We all have the right to belong to a country. 16. Marriage and family. Every grown-up has the right to marry and have a family if they want to. Men and women have the same rights when they are married, and when they are separated. 17. The right to your own things. Everyone has the right to own things or share them. Nobody should take our things from us without a good reason. 18. Freedom of thought. We all have the right to believe in what we want to believe, to have a religion, or to change it if we want. 19. Freedom of expression. We all have the right to make up our own minds, to think what we like, to say what we think, and to share our ideas with other people. 20. The right to public assembly. We all have the right to meet our friends and to work together in peace to defend our rights. Nobody can make us join a group if we don't want to. 21. The right to democracy. We all have the right to take part in the government of our country. Every grown-up should be allowed to choose their own leaders. 22. Social security. We all have the right to affordable housing, medicine, education, and childcare, enough money to live on and medical help if we are ill or old. 23. Workers' rights. Every grown-up has the right to do a job, to a fair wage for their work, and to join a trade union. 24. The right to play. We all have the right to rest from work and to relax. 25. Food and shelter for all. We all have the right to a good life. Mothers and children, people who are old, unemployed or disabled, and all people have the right to be cared for. 26. The right to education. Education is a right. Primary school should be free. We should learn about the United Nations and how to get on with others. Our parents can choose what we learn. 27. Copyright. Copyright is a special law that protects one's own artistic creations and writings. Others cannot make copies without permission. We all have the right to our own way of life and to enjoy the good things that art, science and learning bring. 28. A fair and free world. There must be proper order so we can all enjoy rights and freedoms in our own country and all over the world. 29. Responsibility. We have a duty to other people, and we should protect their rights and freedoms. 30. No one can take away your human rights. Yes, read that last one again. Imagine the world without these guarantees. You have 14 months to do something about it. #bans off our parliament. #H.O.O.P. The only thing may guarantees in taking this away is a dystopian nightmare. I have had it with arguing facts. So here are my thoughts. Share if you wish. My problem with Westminster is they are arrogant, useless, heartless and incompetent. They and their friends are the ruling class and you, my friends, are the serfs. It's been like that for 1,000 years. Don't believe me? Look at their double-barreled, Norman names. And don't even get me started on the House of the Debauched. They don't give a damn about you or Scotland and neither do the people who live here apparently. They only care that they have a cushy number in Westminster, good salary, possibility of a directorship or two and an ermine cloak for life for betraying their people. Don't people care they are being run by a bunch of useless toffs, with plummy accents and IQ of 3 1/3, who expect us to pay our taxes while hiding theirs? Meritocracy is dead. Long live the ruling classes. They don't care that they live on expenses at the expense of our NHS. They get richer while we get poorer. They take, we give, they rule, we suffer. They make crap decisions which don't affect them. They are privately educated, but run down our education system with constant underfunding. They underfund the health service. So what? They have H.O.O.P. They are the entitled few. We are the unwashed masses. They don't care about you. They never did. You are fodder in their wars. You are the worker cogs in their wealth-making machine. You are the worker ants in their ant heap. You are irrelevant, unless you can carry a gun and fight in a war to maintain the life to which they have become accustomed in the status quo. The Queen and the royal family represent everything that is wrong with this society, and I am not even an anti-royalist, but watching her fawn over her favorite jewel on her favorite crown, that is disgusting when people are literally dying through lack of food and health care, hiding their tax. How much money are you worth? She alone could eradicate poverty in the whole of Britain. Have another ducky of Cornwall biscuit. Mind you, don't choke on it. It is disgusting that in the 21st century we have homeless people in our streets when investors from overseas are allowed to buy up our land and our houses as investments. It is disgusting that 1 million homes are left empty when there aren't enough houses, and we are paying how much to do up the 2 palaces and a clock. It is disgusting that millions live in substandard housing when Westminster voted against landlords having to make them habitable and safe. It is deplorable that children go to school hungry and dirty in clothes that can't be washed and teachers have to feed them and give them a change of clothes because they don't have money or water, or electricity or are living in temporary accommodation in one room. And it is indefensible that that number is growing. BBC, they really do want us dead. It's terrible that the 1% have become the 0.1% and own half the world's wealth. It's awful that the wealth gap is the highest now than at any time in history. It is shocking that 6 tax-avoiding billionaires own our entire MSM and gave you a daily dose of propaganda. And it's said they convince you who the enemy are, all the while grinding up the fear and hatred. It's said they convince you that it's the fault of them immigrants and refugees. It's said you don't realize it isn't. It's said you don't know your government is either bombing, maiming or killing in wars you don't evac. It is said you think the 5,000 you let in are going to ruin your country when it is already ruined. But not by them. It is tragic that most of the country's wealth has been squandered on vanity projects in, say, England. It is despicable the profits hide in offshore accounts, evading tax and scrutiny, and that some of the worst offenders are the people who are supposed to be our representatives and that Britain is the worst offender. It is dreadful that more money is spent trying to catch benefit cheats of a few bob and not tax cheats and their billions. It is shameful that Scotland, with all its wealth and resources, has been plundered for centuries and treated as a colony. It is disgraceful that all the UK assets have been sold to make money for the few, and now that there is nothing left to sell they have turned their attention to the only thing that we have left to be proud of, the NHS and Scotland's resources. England doesn't export anything, apart from misery and war. Everything else has gone to the highest bidder and oftentimes not the highest bidder, just a friend of a friend and a wink. Our assets were sold to Europeans, overseas pension funds, including other governments, who we have been taught to despise so much, that we were manipulated into leaving the largest world trade union and will all be £2,300 worse off. And yet we want to get into bed with the Antichrist who runs the US. We hate Europeans, we hate foreigners, but we sold them all our assets and they are making money out of them when our own government couldn't or wouldn't. It is terrible that our industries are all but dead, the skills gone, and that services are now our main source of income, and many of those service industries rely on foreign workers. It is said that the currency has dropped 25%, and nobody cares, and yet bankers still get their obscene bonuses by printing money we do not have, making our currency worth even less. It's awful that we live in a supposed democracy that is run by big companies and bankers who don't pay their taxes and are enabled and abetted by our very own government. BVI, Panama, Barbados, Jersey, Britain with the most number of tax havens, but not for the likes of you and me. Oh no, it is going to be problematic when Europeans are thrown out of this country and we lose millions of skilled workers who do pay their taxes and help keep our heads above water. It is frightening that people have become so intolerant and xenophobic and scared and indoctrinated to believe what the papers say. It isn't the fault of immigrants who are in this situation. It is the fault of successive policies by successive governments, including Labour. Foreigners are not the problem or the enemy. We are. Our ideas. Us, our brainwashed thoughts. It is chilling that Scots have also been so indoctrinated that you don't only hate foreigners, you hate yourselves so much you would rather put up with anything, instead of being brave and bold and making your own country a better and fairer place to live. Like every other country in the world, Scotland has the chance to change things. It has riches and resources beyond measure, more than most. We have a chance to make better decisions that better ourselves and our country. We have a chance to become a vibrant, modern, progressive society. We will make mistakes along the way, but we will fix them. We will have our country first and foremost in what we plan and what we do. No more afterthoughts and scraps for which we are told to be grateful. We have the chance to run our country for everyone, not the few, and to mean it and prove it. We will do it differently. We are different. We have always been different. We can be a country, again. Notice I didn't mention battles or William Wallace or any of the Braveheart stuff we get accused of. We are looking to the future, a better future, a brighter future. We are not looking backwards, we are walking forwards. If things aren't good, do something. Don't blame SNP, don't blame the SG, don't even blame Westminster because we are partly to blame. We allowed this. We had a chance. We are soon going to have another. None will ever convince me that we cannot do this successfully, using our greatest minds and talent, hard work and determination. No one. What follows is a statement from your fellow activists. Party politics to be left at home, please. This is for all of Scotland. We were given the devolved administrations by the power of Europe. They told Westminster it was using too many powers, it had to devolve these powers. Do not think we voted and won the devolved powers. We were given them only because the Europeans told Westminster in no uncertain terms that they had to do this. On the 30th of March 2019, Westminster can close down Holyrood with nothing the EU can say. It has been spoken of by many MSPs and most recently at First Minister's questions on the 11th of January 2018. This is not only for people who support Scottish independence, it's also for anyone who has an interest in Scotland having a parliament. It's for all who want Scotland to have its own voice heard. Even if it's muffled by distance from Holyrood to Westminster. If you are concerned and wish to let the people in Westminster know that you want Scotland to have a Scottish parliament, then please join this demonstration. The larger the attendance, the larger the message. The larger the attendance, the better we will be heard. Get your hands off our parliament. It's ours. You, me, everybody needs to come and roar hands of our parliament. Our Alba. The choice is yours. No, really, for once it is. We are Scotland. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.